Alright, hey everybody, it is Tony and I am back. I have some TTMs for you today. They all come from the football field, and we're going to get started with the first one. And it comes from Mr. John Dutton. No, not that John Dutton. The John Dutton who played with the Colts and Cowboys throughout the 70s and early 80s. I think he played all the way up until 1987 with the Dallas Cowboys. John Dutton, as you can see, it took nearly a year to come back to me. He signed that one in an ink pen. I was confused when I saw on Informed Delivery that I was getting mail from Dallas. Just couldn't put who it was going to be. And then I opened it up. I'm like, when did I send this out? And then I checked my spreadsheet, and it was May of last year when I sent out to John Dutton. But nonetheless, very happy to get it back. Moving on to the next one, and it is one of the Cardinals' all-time great quarterbacks, and it is Jim Hart, who owns the Cardinal record for yards and touchdowns. He actually runs circles around everybody else in the Cardinals organization as far as yards and touchdowns. He is the UPI NFC MVP in 1974. Like I said, he was just a prodigious quarterback in a time in the 70s when most of the time quarterbacks just handed off to the guy behind him. He was chucking it up before Air Coryell was a thing in San Diego. But this is the second time that I've gotten Jim Hart back. He does personalize, so if you're not a fan of personalizations, this is not for you. Also, this would have been a point for Team 80s had it arrived 2 days prior, but it's not, and it happens. And by the way, this is also one of the cards that I got at the card shop in Maine. Moving on to the next one, and it comes from coaching legend Herm Edwards. Though his record would not indicate that he is a legend, he was pretty awesome on the mic on both ESPN and during press conference interviews. Was fired from Arizona State as he was walking off the field in 2022. The athletic director or president, one of those university officials, stopped him as he was walking off the field and said he was done. So he was fired right after a game, walking off the field. I guess not as bad as Lane Kiffin, I think, was fired as the team was loading on the bus to go somewhere that the USC, I think it was USC, fired him as he was getting ready to leave. So I guess, it happens. This is also would have been a point for Team 80s had it come a couple of days before. And this is another card that I got from that card shop in Maine. Next one is a Seahawks legend. It is Jim Zorn. I don't think you can talk to a Seahawks fan and say a bad word about Jim Zorn, because I think those fans might kill you if you say a bad word about Jim Zorn. Another one of those guys that put up some solid numbers just on a bad team, sort of like Jim Hart. This is the second time that I've gotten Jim Zorn back, and as always, very happy to get an autograph. And he does inscribe it with a Bible verse, which is A-OK with me. He was signed by Dallas out of college, but was cut before the 75 season began, and then was signed by Seattle in the offseason and was given the reins to lead the expansion Seahawks. I believe that's Steve Largent pictured next to him. Seahawks fans, can you tell me that for sure? If it is Steve Largent, pretty sure it is. Almost positive it is. And I think that might be a good card to get dual signed. Maybe. And another card for Team 80s. Man, racking up the points if the contest was still going on. Moving on to my last one, and it is Hall of Famer Elvin Bethea. And Elvin Bethea, for $10, will sign a card that you send him. $10 per card, so if you send him a couple cards, obviously, throw in a 20. Another guy that runs circles around the second place person as far as sacks are concerned in Oilers Titans history. I don't think I was looking, and it's not even close between first and second as far as sacks in organization history. And rightful place in Canton. So that brings me to this card that he throws in for you, a Hall of Famer that throws in a free card for you, which is awesome as heck. This is the second time that I've got Elvin Bethea back, so I obviously have 2 of these cards. So I want to give this one to you. Now, I'm nice, but this is what you have to do for me. Answer this trivia question. Who was the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2003 with Elvin Bethea? Answers are accepted until Monday at noon Eastern Daylight Time. So, once again, who was the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2003 along with Elvin Bethea? So you have to tell me who else was inducted that year with Mr. Bethea. So those are my TTMs. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.